we believe that as spiritual beings. We believe we are a light. We have light within us. You know, we believe that light is what makes us experience this whole beautiful expression and joy of life, all of this creation. And we are fragments of God. All of us are fragments of God, experiencing life as Himself. We believe that, sure. However, at the same time, to get to that, this is where human beings are struggling. They're struggling with that. Because if we see, we have a lot of desires, animalistic, ways of living. People are living in hell. You can go to somebody's home and say, holy shit, this guy lives like hell. Right? A lot of people have ulterior motives. They're not cleansed in their minds, cleansed in their heart. So what they speak to you, they put up a face. They put up a veil of a version of themselves that's not them. Within themselves, there's something clean, pure. The masters can see that. The man himself thinks he's tricking the master, but he's not. The master plays along. The master plays along. Because he knows within him, he's still cleansing. So they don't hold you accountable. And they know that a time will come, you will be cleansed. Purely shining in the heart. The heart of God is the throne. Throne of God. This is where the God's light shines. So the mirror, the reflection is this. The reflection is that I should reflect God's light. If I am God. But it's not like that. Then we talk about in spirituality the ego self, that false identity. So we're trying to get rid of that false identity. Right? So that itself is the spiritual journey of self-realization. As all the prophets and messengers taught in their history, by leading by example. Leading by example. They didn't just preach the message. They were the embodiment of that character. So, and they preached that message to all those that wanted just the desires of the world. The Jews wanted the food of the heavens. When God bestowed food on them from the heaven, they said they wanted more. Instead of being content and in gratitude with that food that was descended from the heavens for them. Jesus was crucified, right? But we, in the Sufi way is that he's going to return back. I'm sure that that's the story all around. He's going to be the final Messiah coming back. It's going to happen. It's meant to happen. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he showed that man should live in his character. Does Zikr, wholehearted remembrance, and in every shape or form return back to God. Because there's no block between the prayer, between you and the master. There's no block in between that. The only block is the way you are trying to reach out. Or if you're asking for something, and if it does not become fulfilled right away, because there's a time for that as well. And it might not even come, because we don't know, as children of God, we don't know really what's really good for us sometimes. We ask for things that may not serve us spiritually. Because the whole journey in the Sufi sayings is that I created man and jinn but to worship me alone, but to contemplate on me alone, but to meditate on me alone, to remove all the attachments from the self to get to the real self. Real self being God's reality within. So there's two ways of spirituality. One is that we are experiencing everything that we step our foot into, right? So whether it's this gathering here, or we meet other beings that we talk spirituality and what we're trying to experience, or what we want to experience, this is still the doing of the false identity, believe it or not. The false identity itself is still posing as a spiritual being. At once upon a time, it posed as a different type of being. maybe a career-oriented, or a party animal, or whatever it is, right? We had a lot of veils. All of us did. And we will. Until we are absolutely annihilated in the mind. Complete annihilation here, meaning the complete erasing of the self-identity that we have created from our own version of the self. You see? So, Jerry is not your name. Neither is Jai. That's just your experience. Right? Jino is not your name. Who named you? Parents, right? They named you. You chose to experience yourself as Jino. That's not your name. Eric is not your name. My name is not my name. None of us truly have genuinely a name, because that's another label that we put on ourselves. We chose to experience ourselves as the name that we have. But if we attach ourselves to that identity, then we have put a restraint on that spiritual growth. But if we truly, genuinely detach completely from every aspect of the self, then we come into emptiness. Which, you know, today we teach emptiness meditation. Nothingness. So what are the masters talking about when they say to cut yourself from all things? Master Maswar Qalandar, our master, teaches that to cut yourself from all things, that's where God is. And then he also says in another note to take everybody on the journey with you. So those are two really far-fetched ideas, right? Like in one angle, he's talking about to cut yourself from everything and be near to God. On the other end, he's saying to take everyone with you. So we would get confused in that situation there. In that conversation there, a person would be like, wait, in one speech you're talking about to cut yourself. In the second speech you're saying to take everybody with you. So what's the truth? When the masters talk, spiritual masters, when they speak from a level that we have not even touched even the floor of it yet. We haven't even reached the floor of it yet. So when they're talking about to cut yourself from all things, we would take it physically as a physical being. So we would start cutting everything off from our lives. Our friends, our families, our children, spouses, relationships. We will start cutting ourselves off. Why? Because we are thinking from a place of physical existence. False identity. False identity. Because on the other end, he's saying to take everybody with you. And they themselves have hundreds and thousands of followers. And they're talking about to cut yourself from everything. So think about that. That's something to reflect on. That's something to reflect on. They're taking hundreds and thousands of followers with them. And at the same time, they're telling you to cut yourself from all things. And connect yourself to God. So you're taking the wires that you have, the spiritual strings. Reflect in your own meditations. Where are these strings attached to? Invisible strings. Remember, the journey is self-realization. To realize myself. Who am I? Who am I within? Who am I as this being? Who am I in this reality that we call the physical dimension? To reflect within, understanding where those spiritual strings are, and to turn everything that's going outward, having the outward experience, to turn everything in your mind that has portraying strings attaching to outward experiences. We must turn all those strings back inwards. Every single string. Every single string. Once all those strings are turned, they make a U-turn, come back within, they go inside, then you start feeling the samadhi that you were talking about earlier, which we call the state of fana, annihilation. There's various ways to go about it. The highest level is when you meet a true, a sincere, a perfect master. This is essential in the journey. Before that, it's your own false identity just playing its part. As Rumi said, that remove all the veils from your face. Remove all the masks. You yourself are beautiful. Remember, Rumi himself was a very well-known scholar in his time before he became the Rumi he is today. He was a very well-known scholar. He was the ideal that people went to learn from, where he would sit and he had thousands of students listening to him speak. But in one instant, when he met his master, a master, somebody would think, okay, you know, somebody high status, many followers. It doesn't have to be the case. It could be some guy that you walk past and you say, look at this homeless guy. Beard, dirty, long hair, barely, like ripped up clothes. That could be a master. But what is a master's job? What is a true master's job? This is where we struggle to understand this point. And it's very important. This is probably the most important point in this whole talk. The purpose of a master is to annihilate your false self. Annihilate your false self in one instant. That's how you know you are with a true master. Because you experience that firsthand. You experience firsthand the complete annihilation of the false self. Now you're standing neither in the heavens, neither caring about the heaven, neither caring about the hellfires, neither caring about the physical existence, and neither caring about the spiritual existence. Not caring about none of it. Because now you've become one with the ultimate source. So if one becomes one with the ultimate source, then who are you? You no longer exist. Meaning, who no longer exists? The false identity. The false ego no longer exists. When the false ego no longer exists, who exists? Allah, God, He exists. Even saying He, I'm giving a duality. So just for a conversation purpose, I'm saying He, but that's still very minute level. If we are universal beings, if we have reached that state where we are completely annihilated, finished, we're in a million pieces, we are fana. Fana meaning annihilated. The highest level is fana fillah, annihilation in God. But the way this system is taught for the seekers, all of us, seekers, are seeking something mystical. A true reality of the self. This is already built into our system. This is how the system was created. This was already created like the system. Because for us to even sit here and yearn for something more, that should show us that there's something innate within us that's pulling us towards the universal. And we're trying to figure it out. So as we climb different experiences, we meet people of different experiences. Finally, we meet a gateway. A gateway that is a true master. And that master annihilates you if you are a true seeker. If you are seeking only the truth. A man can seek many things. Money, a lot of things in the physical realm. They would want many things. But a true seeker only wants one thing. They want the truth. Not just a truth of Islam, truth of Christianity, truth of Judaism, truth of Buddhism, truth of Sufism, none of that. All that is annihilated as well. All the books are annihilated. All the physical reality is annihilated. All my thoughts and my ideas of knowledge are annihilated. We must annihilate completely everything, become empty. And once it's this path, the path of self-realization, is you learn everything. Even if you learned 1,000 books and you learned all the knowledge of spirituality that there had to be known, when you come to the door of ultimate connection, at that door, you would drop all that knowledge that you learned and you walk through that door empty. So in this path of self-realization, you learn everything. And then at the door, you drop everything. And then you walk through the door. Once you walk through that door, then your ultimate source. Then you become the ultimate source. Then you become the shining light for the mankind. And then all those that are around you and many more, they benefit from your gaze. They benefit from your light at that point. But the seeker is not completely finished until he walks through the master. Because the master himself is also appointed from the universal existence. And he himself is not a he or a she. It's an annihilated being. We can give him many names. An avatar, annihilated master, a Sufi master, the reviver of the hearts, Qalandar, which I sent you what Qalandar means, right? We can give them many names, but again, that's just one experience of the complete picture. But a true seeker, I'm going to go back to this over and over again, is not completely annihilated until he walks through the door of the master empty. Once he's empty, then he's annihilated completely. Then he's put into a million pieces. Millions and millions and millions of pieces. Just like look at the galaxies, right? Stars are scattered all over. And there's so many, we can't even count. That's who we are. And we have to become that many pieces completely and vibrating with the universal truth. Now, how can you do that yourself? Is that even possible? Impossible. It's impossible. Only possibility is when your complete version of yourself, a master comes and annihilates you, and then you walk into it, then you will feel absolute oneness with entire existence. There will be no difference between all the races, all the planets, all the stars, all the universes, all of existence. You'll be vibrating just in tune with all of it at the same time. And at that point in your life, you would see the entire existence in the palm of your hands. In the palm of your hands. Small as a mustard seed. The entire existence. I'm talking about, fathom this, okay? Everything that you learn. All of the human beings. All of the universe. All the galaxies. All the universes. All the cosmic universal laws. Every single little thing that you have. You would see it on the palm of your hand, small as a mustard seed. This is impossible until one reaches the state, goes through his journey, reaches a true master, annihilates you, because at that point you're surrendering your ego, self. Many people say in religions, many religions, I've learned many religions, you know, I've been probably to all of religious talks in my experiences. No one will ever bow their head, not physically, not physical bowing of the head, but truly surrender. This is what I mean. Truly, sincerely surrender their ego. Very few would do that. This is where the whole talk in the Sufis come of love. You annihilate yourself in the love of your master. Or if you go to a master, there's a story. You go to a master and the master says, have you fallen in love? You say no. He kicks you out. He says, go fall in love and then come back. Go fall in love, break your heart, and then come back. So you know what love is all about. Because this journey of man is all about love. And the only gateway to the next dimension, to the realms of entire existence, without wanting to experiencing, oh, what's on the other side? I want to know what's in the heavens. I want to know what's going on out there. Before that, there's a process that we need to go through. It's complete emptiness. Before you are wanting more of something that you desire, physical ego is desiring all of that. I want to go to heaven. I want to experience this. I want to attain this. I want to be able to see the unseen. I want to see all these different colors. This is still the wanting of the self, the false identity. The self, meaning this whole head to toe, is false identity. So to get rid of this mask, complete body, and to replace it with the soul, the essential step is for the seeker to get to a master. Seek. I'm not telling you guys to go to my master. This is where I found this. After 10 years, after 20 masters, I found one master. That was my journey. But you must seek. As the masters say, you must go to China if you're looking for knowledge. What knowledge were they talking about? The knowledge of the inner self. Meaning you annihilate the wanting of the knowledge. Wanting to become this great speaker. Wanting to become this great helper of the universe. Wanting to become all of this. All these masters that you see doing this today, the high-level masters, they had to go through exactly what I'm talking about. They went through their master. And they were annihilated into pieces. Meaning that they went through many hardships. And in those hardships, and I'm sure every single one of you here either are going through a hardship today or went through a hardship that broke you inside and developed you into a more, with more wisdom. With more knowledge of the self. With more knowledge of the inner self. But you were broken into pieces. But until you're finished completely, that you want nothing of this planet, you want nothing of this earth, you want nothing of this mind, you want nothing of the experience of your own, you kill all that first. I'm sorry, I'm talking very high level here. The ultimate doorway. This is the conversation right now, the ultimate doorway to absolute reality. So once that time comes, and in one instant that master annihilates you. And then at that point, when you feel not attached to the idea of heaven, not attached to the ideas of hell, not attached to the ideas of helping, not ideas of attachment to anything of the body experiencing, and you feel absolutely your body from left to right, you have no beginning, and you have no end, and you have no height, and you have no ground. At that point, you can now say you're experiencing spirituality. Until then, it's just false identity, trying to understand things. But if you've gotten this far in this room, if you've gotten this far, you've reached many heightened realities to get here. Many different grades, many different classes you've been through to get to here. Because after here, there's only the master. There's no more learning. There's no more learning. Learning and experiencing is for those that are babies, that are still trying to figure shit out. This is not the point of man to constantly figure stuff out. We're not trying to figure things out anymore. We're trying to connect to the truth, ultimate truth. This is the presence of the master. And in the Sufi teachings, when we are taught Fanafi Sheikh means annihilation in master. So if my master is sitting in front of me, he's sitting on that chair, and I'm getting spiritual transmission directly from the master, and whatever I'm speaking is none of my own. None of it. None of this knowledge was rehearsed. None of this was rehearsed before I got here. None of this was read in the books. It's spiritual transmission. When there is that connection to Shareef, to the master in that way, that there's nothing else of your own, you're getting direct connection to the source. Once you're directly connected to the source, then you go into states of, you come to a level of fanafillah. Fanafillah is absolute annihilation of complete identity. That you yourself become a master. You embody your master, you wear his cloak, and he bestows everything that he owns. He trains you enough. Now he says, okay, now you are ready. You are cleansed, you are empty, here is the gem. Once He bestows upon you gem, then He says, go out there. Now work. Now it's your time to work. This is the whole journey of man. It's annihilation of the self. And you will read about this. If you like reading books, read about annihilation. Read about Fanafi Sheikh, Fanafi Allah, Tasawwur Sheikh. Tasawwur Sheikh means that my face is not my own. I choose to surrender my face. I choose to surrender my reality. And I choose to overtake with love, with intimacy, the reality of Master. Once I take the reality of the Master, what have I just done? I've gotten rid of my false identity, my version of the truth, my version of the self, my version of the reality of who I am. I got rid of that because I was still roaming around in my own world. Once I transformed, once I transfer into the body of the Master, the body of the Master is not his body alone. Again, he embodies God. If the Master embodies God, who is he connected to? God. To ultimate reality. So what will we experience? Will we experience the Master? Yes, we will experience the Master. But at the same time, we'll experience not that one Master, but all the Masters that ever came, and Master of all Masters who ever came, and Master of all the Masters. We experience to that height, to that reality, in one instance. One instance. Not a whole journey of 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. Rumi says, Muhammad, peace be upon him, says, and all these Masters have said, one moment with the Master is better than 1,000 years of worship. Think about that for one moment. 1,000 years of not just any worship, good worship. Good worship. Meaning you cleanse yourself. You sat in good intention. And you spoke to God in the most humble manner, with humility. 1,000 of those on one side. One of those on the other side. One of those is just presence of the Master. That's it. On the physical, people might look at the Master and be like, oh, he belongs to a Muslim faith. He belongs to the Hindu faith. He belongs to the Buddhist faith. He belongs to the Judaism, Kabbalah faith, right? However, that's just a cloak. The reality is within. Meher Baba has said he is an avatar. He spoke it out. Hazrat Inayat Khan, he took people through music to God. He played the music physically, but what happened in their hearts, only his students can tell you what they experienced. It had nothing to do with the physical music. It had everything to do with the Master. So we're not supposed to look at the teachings of the Master. That's part of it. That's only 25% of it. Not even, maybe 10%, to be honest. All the books make up of 10% of your knowledge. Not even. I can say 1%. 1% of your knowledge, information that you receive is made up of maybe all the books that you read in your entire living. And 2% of it is your physical worship. It has nothing to do with it. But it has 98%, 99%, maybe 100% to do with the Master. Because the Master is the one that bestows power to all those words. He would remove all those books, and he would bestow in you all the books. All the chambers within us have all the realities. And I'm sure every single one of us has read books that talk about all these things. But where do these things come from? And how can we, average human being, experience this? It's only one direction. There's no other direction. It's through a true, sincere, perfect guide, perfect spiritual master. Not a spiritual teacher. I'm not talking about going into a classroom, sitting, learning from books, and they're giving their ideas and knowledge that they learned through their teachers. That's a different system. That's what we're used to in the West. We're used to going to college, university, going in front of class, and then we continue that cycle as we grow up. We start that cycle as babies. Preschool, all the way for the rest of our lives. That's a cycle. We got to break that cycle. That's one side. Don't break it. Keep continuing. I'm not telling you to get rid of all that. Continue that. Continue going to class. Continue learning. That's one side. But a path of a spiritual master is completely different. It's complete annihilation of the self in one instant. And that's it. Now when you receive that experience, then you say, I wasted 30 years of my life. Why didn't I do this sooner? 30 years I trashed around in these books and these classes when the whole temple was inside of me. The temple was within. The kingdom was within. The throne was within. And I was been thrashing out for 30 years. I've been going around all this, wasting my time. That would upset you a little bit. But it's okay. That would upset you, you know? It upset me. Like 30 years of my life I wasted until I came hands-on with this experience. Now, I can say the word experience, but I cannot tell you any of the experiences. Neither can you, and neither can you. All of your own experiences have to be zipped into your own realities. The more you keep them in the secret, and this is the universal law, to keep your experiences secret. The more they are secret, the more you expand with that ultimate source. And you have knowledge, not only you have knowledge of the spiritual realities, but all the physical realities, of all the knowledge of everything that was bestowed by the one Creator. Because in essence, all of existence is God's existence. All of existence is God's existence. Therefore, within me is everyone's existence. Within you is everyone's existence. But it's not there until you are completely annihilated. And then, don't get so happy when you get annihilated by the master. He's going to check your love. Any master will. Meher Baba, Pir Sahab. Every single master will check your love. God tests your love. How does He check you? If He bestows tests and tribulations on you in your personal life, do you turn away from God or do you love God more? That's the same way God tests you. That's the same way the master tests you. The master way of testing you is the same as God's. There's no difference. No difference at all. He will check you. He will give you unconditional love. But He will put you through experiences where He will test you about your love. Is your love a fluke? Or is it sincere? And will you give everything up for that love? When the time comes, will you give everything up for that love? Give up meaning nothing is attached to your heart. Again, whatever I say, I'm talking about spiritually. Okay? It doesn't mean you got to get rid of your house, you got to get rid of your wife, you got to get rid of your cars, you got to get rid of food, you got to get rid of everything. No. Spiritually, you are in your kingdom. It's only His love and His remembrance. And everything that's going on here, you have surrendered to the throne of God. You have surrendered all of it. Because anything that comes here, there's a saying by one of the teachers, as the thought creates in your mind, cut it at its root. Cut it at its root before it becomes a snake. Snake what? In your mind. That thought becomes so heavy on you that now you have to fulfill that thought. You can't run away from it. Now you're trapped in that thought. And you have to go through that whole cycle. Go through some demolition. And then come back to the same emptiness. If we just choose to sit in that emptiness, surrendered in the throne of God, that man, woman has realized who they are on the highest level. Just sitting in stillness, in silence, in gratitude, in humility, in humble state, sitting, laying, standing, walking, working, talking, always in worship of God. Always, your whole kingdom is, nothing enters it but the light of God, and it gives out light of God, takes light of God, gives light of God. That's all it does. But you speak only what's good, and you perfect your character. Don't limit yourself. Always don't limit yourself. Learn how to perfect your character from those that perfected it. And don't just from random folks, the masters of it, the ones that brought the message. Learn from Jesus. Learn from Muhammad, peace be upon him. Learn from Moses. Learn from all the books that came onto them. Read every single one of them. And then once you perfect your character, you live your life as a perfect human being, perfect character, best husband, best businessman, best worker, best co-worker, best motivator, most honest, with most integrity, living the best character on this earth is the vicegerent of God. And the spiritual side is that man is annihilated. He's walking the earth like the Son of God. He's walking like the Son of Jesus, Son of Muhammad. All the spiritual masters. He's walking amongst them now. And when he's walking in heaven, he's not walking any heaven anymore. And he's not contemplating heaven. He's walking the same ground here. But he is stepping his foot in heaven every step. So he no longer exists here because no longer his mind exists. He's transmitted all of it into the Master. Now, with the Master being the gateway, he's in the ultimate reality. The ultimate reality is heaven. You are the healer. You are the Master. And this is the journey of a seeker. A seeker will always remain a seeker. Then from a seeker convert into a lover. From the lover into the complete submersion with the beloved and complete annihilation in the beloved. There was a master. Zikr that we do here is like a sword of the tongue and the sword of the heart. There was a master. He used to live in the jungle. His name was Hazrat Sabir Pia. Sabir Pia, the patient one. He was so annihilated in his zikr, meaning like when I say annihilated in zikr, I mean this mind is finished, completely finished. When he closes his eyes, his light is no longer just some soothing light. It's like fire. It was like fire for him. It turned into fire within. That he was constantly beaming with this heat, this fire. This was his zikr. He no longer was reciting anything. He was so deep into the throne of the heart, into the ultimate reality of God, that he was like fire. He was on fire. So he couldn't live in the normal world anymore. He lived in the jungle. If he opened his eyes, trees would burn down. Trees would burn down. There's a story where his mom got him married. Remember, I'm talking about these ultimate masters where all they cared about was God. This whole physical reality for them was just a test for them to get them away, deviate them from the path of God. Ultimate masters. I'm talking about Zikirs, the ones that are constantly in remembrance. They're known as the Zikirs. There's a story about this master here too. The master's father on the left. I'll tell you that. It's a very similar story. So, actually, let me tell you his story. He was a Zikr like that. He was always in remembrance, always in such remembrance. Where he stayed in his room, he said, "When I do Zikr out loud, don't come in the room." But once there was a maiden who serves him tea at afternoon time in Pakistan. He passed from his physical body now. He has a shrine there, very powerful shrine. Eric has done some meditations there as well. So when he used to do his zikr out loud, he said, do not come in the room while I'm in this zikr. He didn't say why. But she was curious. And this happened twice. One with a barber, one with this maiden who served tea. So she heard him out loud. And he heard him out loud. Same story, different timings. When they heard him, they got curious. So they decided to look through the peephole. They looked through it. It was open door, you know. It's like villages, you know. Not so modern like here. So what they see is, they see Hazrat Sayyid Rasul Shah Khaki, his physical body, this whole body, into pieces. Every single part of his body is remembering God. It's reciting the zikr, Allah, 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 Allah. She freaked out. So did he, that barber. Same story, different timings. They ran away. As soon as they ran away, as soon as she was running, he calls her over. He calls her name, he's like, come back here. He is in pieces. Now he's calling her. Look at this miracle. He's in complete pieces. And he's calling her back. And he's saying, come back here. He calls her in the room and he says, what did I tell you when I do zikr out loud? Not to come in this room. On the other side, when the barber did that, barber thought he died. So he went to the village and he called the folks over and he said, Hazrat Sayyid Rasul Shah Khaki died. He has passed away. His body's in pieces. He was freaked out. They all ran his way. And what they see is he's coming out of his room in complete intoxication of God. Totally normal. Just like his human self. And he says, what's the matter? These masters show us something. A very profound experience. That when you experience and when you annihilate yourself to God, you no longer exist. Who exists? Just a form. The form. No longer, it doesn't have to be physical anymore. It may be absolutely immortal. So from that, I'm going to go into this story where that man with the fire coming out of his eyes, Sabir Pia, the patient one of his disciples came to his master. And the master said, the disciple said to the master, Master, tell me about these two states that we study, Fana and Baqa. Fana being annihilation in God, Baqa being immortal in God. There's a difference, huge difference. Fana meaning annihilation in God, meaning that somebody that's in constant remembrance in the throne of God, that he kills his ego self, the identity of the self that he thinks is existent. He goes in front of the master. He gets himself annihilated. Then he goes into the new dimension, which is within, and he travels deep within, and he goes into deeper and deeper zikrs. He finds himself annihilated in God. This is fana. Baqa is when you're immortal in God. Completely, you no longer exist. It's God that exists. That's what I mean by immortal in God. That you no longer exist. God exists. So the patient one, Hazrat Sabir Pia, he tells his student, his eyes always being closed because he's always in remembrance. He's always talking like, he's like, you're not ready for that yet. You're not ready for that yet. When the time comes, I will tell you. Few months passed and the disciple came back. At this time, the master, the patient one, he tells the disciple in Sufism, I'll give you the term so you're aware of it, is known as the murid. Murid is the seeker, the lover, the disciple. So he tells his murid that my time has come to go from this physical body. I have instructions for you. Of course, the murid will listen to his master. He said, yes, master, anything for you. He said, give ghusl to my body, meaning cleanse my body, when it passes away, passes from physical body left, lay it. The traditional way is to lay the body in a coffin. Everybody prays for the dead body to have them receive heaven. This is the way. So he gave those instructions to the master, to the disciple, to the murid. Once he gave these instructions, a couple days, Hazrat Sabir Pia, the patient one, passes away from the body. He follows the instructions. Oh, I forgot to tell you one main part. This is like the most important part. So the Sabir Pia told his murid, when I pass, nobody will read prayer for me. However, a man will come on a horse, will be wearing black, head to toe. His face will be covered. He will come on a horse. He will recite my janazah prayer, my prayer of my death. He will recite my prayer. Other than that, nobody else will. Then the murid says, as you wish, master, your wish will be fulfilled. The time came, he followed the instructions to the T. Everybody waited around to pray for him, but they waited because the master said, until the man on the horse comes with the black, he will lead the prayer. So that's exactly what happened. The man on the horse came in front of the patient one. He led the prayer. Everybody followed him. He finished the prayer and he walked away, getting back on his horse. The murid, the disciple, grabbed his cloak, the black cloak, and he said, wait, who are you? And I don't understand, why you? Because why you? So he took his mask off, and guess who he was? It was the master that was laying there dead. So the one laying there dead, the patient one says, the living one, now living one. Who is the living one? Only living one is God. Always, right? The living one, always living. No beginning, no end, always living. He tells the murid, he says, you remember you asked me about two things? Fana, annihilation in God, and baqa, immortal in God. That body is fana, and this is baqa. This is immortal, that is annihilated. So in this path of self-realization, if one masters the zikr, not on his own, by the permission of the master, what they assign to you, that has more power than anything you assign to yourself. Because that, what the master assigns to us, is directly empowered by the fire you need to work on this planet and work on yourself. They light the flame in you. They light the flame in you to burn yourself, meaning burn your complete entire the physical reality, the false self. They burn you. But you can stop there. But if you are a true seeker to a point that you want nothing more than the ultimate truth, you will burn yourself in that zikr. The zikr is not, it's of course we say it from the tongue here, but the real zikr is of the heart. Where the heart is doing zikr constantly. We've had experiences of a man that passed away, and this is real stories. A man passed away, but his heart was still beating. Doctors were confused. Doctors called the master, Pir Mastwar Qalandar. They asked him, they said, this man has passed away, but his heart is still alive. We don't understand. He smiled. He said his heart will always remain alive. He's been bestowed the gift of the zikr. His heart will always be alive. You can bury him. It's okay. But he's alive. So there's a difference between the living one and the dead. The dead are those that are just thrashing around in their own mess. The living are those that surrender that false self and they decide to cross over into the unknown with full confidence that there's something waiting for them on the other side, without wavering one single thought, without going back to your own thoughts and deviating yourself like, I don't know if I can take this risk. But one must take a complete plunge into the unknown to receive ultimate truth, ultimate reality. No one is becoming a Muslim. No one is becoming a Christian. No one is becoming a Buddhist. They're becoming from the unknown into the immortal Allah. The truth is to become one with La ilaha illallah. That nothing exists but the existence of God. Nothing exists but the existence of God. So we exist as God, not right now. So if a human being says, I am God, incorrect. God is within me, that's also incorrect. Until that false identity is completely surrendered and annihilated in the hands of the master, and they don't take a knife or anything and cut you, right? It's all within. There's this spiritual transmission going on within. With a true master, it's with one gaze. It may take you 70, 80 years on the other path. It's like the Matrix, right? You take this pill, or you take this pill. If you take this pill, you know what's over here. If you take this pill, then I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. That's the story. That's exactly the story. So, may we understand this truth. May we embody this truth and only seek the truth. And in this kingdom that we call the kingdom within, we remove all attachments, desires, wants, needs, everything. Every single thing, to the point of need of sleep, food, anything. You remove the ideas of God that you think are, if you think God is a certain way, or Jesus is a certain way, or Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a certain way, or Meher Baba is a certain way, or Rumi is a certain way, throw all that out. Because that's only your version of the truth. Throw it out. You learn it, and you throw it back out. And you go back to emptiness. But just remember this. When you find that master that will annihilate you, make sure, if you're not gaining from him in one gaze, in one presence, and sittings with him within the 5 days that you're there, or 6 days that you're there, whatever you choose to do with any master, remember, you're wasting your time. Keep searching until you find that master. Until you find the one that will annihilate you. If you feel the experiences, if you start feeling something in the heart, then you know he is a true master. Only then you know he's a true master, when you feel in your heart movement. Because with the physical, they go into your spiritual. And when spiritual, then they cleanse you, annihilate you, finish you. And then you feel the realities of who you are on a completely different throne. When you walk this earth, you no longer walk the same earth. You walk the throne of God. And this is accurate 100% experience. Where we sit is not earth. We sit at the throne of God. This is how you should meditate until you receive the complete annihilation from the Master. That you are sitting with God, in God, throne of God, only God. No other existence but God. Only ask from God. When I say God, it has so many connotations nowadays. It may take us a while to break all the stigmas around God. You understand? We must completely empty ourselves and fill ourselves with God. Meaning that God that is unseen and pure and divine light. This is why I use the word Allah. Because Allah is entire universal existence vibrating at the same time. It's absolutely pure and there's no different connotations to it. Stigmas are there now because of the terrorism and stuff like that. And that also is a whole different topic, which I'm not going to get into right now. But that itself is also designed to keep human beings in almost a jail cell of their own self. I pray, and we all pray, that we connect to the locus of the prophets and messengers, and we connect direct spiritual transmissions from them. But we also pray that to understand and get to that spiritual realm, in the physical existence, the physical human being, when he is empty of all barriers that he's created around love, once he surrenders his ego, he walks in front of that physical master on the physical realm, in the physical body, knowing that when I jump into this unknown reality, it will no longer be me that exists. It will be something higher than me. So out of this whole conversation, if you're going to take anything away, I would take away that in the seeking of truth, one must find a true spiritual master who will annihilate their ego. They become one with that master. And once they become one with that master, they become one with God. And then their true journey starts of the spiritual reality. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallam. That concludes our spiritual discussion. Let's jump into Zikr. So if we want to turn off some lights, and then we will do Zikr. ये जरा गरम कर दो नहीं ये दे दो इसमें गरम कर दो
नहीं पोस्ट कर दे
छोड़ दो उसको should be about 20 minutes, okay? 40, 25 minutes. You're not in a hurry, Gino, are you? Okay. I don't want to take anybody's time. So with Zikr, one thing is, so right before Zikr, just turn all your mind, attention, anywhere it's roaming, anywhere it is. Completely don't focus on, so right now there's a big phase of, focusing on the third eye and focusing on this. It says the heart chamber is where the complete focus is. Complete focus. All the attention of the mind has to turn into the heart. Heart is the main chamber, the main system. Once this generates enough energy, once it's powerful enough, then the rest of the cycle starts on its own. It starts on its own. It starts spinning on its own. So there's in the modern, they teach the chakras. So there's some spiritual centers we have subtle. I think we talked about it last week. These 5 are very important points. You will start feeling subtle energy movement in these. If you are aware enough, you will feel them here. But complete energy is here, spinning always in here. Go deeper and deeper into from the physical into the spiritual, and that requires your complete. Just open the doors. When you open your doors, then complete transmission happens. Complete transmission happens, and continue with that. Keep becoming lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter until you feel like soft like a feather, like you have no heaviness left in you. No version of yourself left in you, nothing. absolute divine transmission going on at all times. I recommend Zikr and meditation 24 hours a day. This is my recommendation. As much as you can, whether you're walking, sitting, lying, about to go to sleep. Even if you're sitting in a state of sleep, try not to sleep, but go into the state between the wakefulness and sleep, the state in between. This is where the whole attention we need to bring, complete attention in that state right there. In between wakefulness and sleep, there's a state. In that state, that's where the samadhi starts entering you. And this is what, there's different names you can give it.
Does it help to keep the attention like on the heart throughout the day?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. This is essential. This is essential. Otherwise, the receiving will not happen. The transmission will not happen. If your attention is on the heart, but not just attention, but you're leaving your heart door open to receive light. This is the attention we're looking for. We're looking for the attention that you're opening the door of the heart and you're receiving the light and you're moving and functioning in the world at the same time.
I guess then my question is, in life, should we just attempt to live as vigorously and as almost intensely as possible, or should we remove?
So, all your responsibilities have to be fulfilled as they're due. Every single responsibility is very important upon you. You're not supposed to leave anything behind. So, becoming successful in the world, absolutely. Because it has nothing to do with the spiritual life. Spirituality is completely different. We just think it's a part of it. Physical life, we have to do exactly what we're supposed to do by physical law. It has nothing to do with spirituality. Once you open the heart door, then your other travel, other experience of life begins. That's a different world. That world is a secret.
Still, I guess my question is as we experience in the life, should we just surrender into it as much as possible, or are there certain things maybe...
Surrender to what?
Like you might be living in your life and like emotions might well up, or just experience wells up and...
Good point. So, the meditation mastery is that master your negative thoughts. Master your emotions. Master your thoughts. Master all the versions of yourself. When I say master, meaning you go above the negative thoughts. Live in a positive light as much as you can. This is very essential. This is a part of spirituality. Emotions, going beyond your emotions. Emotions and feelings are two different things. You can feel is different. Emotions and dwelling in your own turmoil, if it's turmoil. If it's love, it's different. Love generates a different type of substance within you. Different quality of you. That's good. Love is good. Now, when we talk about love, we experience love in the physical realm. But then when we get intensely in love, that's spiritual love. That's a perfect love. That's a different mirror. It's through that same channel, because love is in the heart. If we look, it's always the heart shape in love. Physical love, physical reality love, is a channel to the spiritual love. That's the only gateway to love. But the rest of your life, yes, you experience it at the highest level, but bringing your mastery of the mind into the moment is essential. Living and experiencing joy in the moment is essential. Who are we missing? Jerry? So with the Zikr, don't just with everybody that recites Zikr. I encourage everybody to participate in it at their own speed and pace. Nobody has to be with everyone. However, internalize the Zikr. When you recite the Zikr, we want to make sure that first we open the heart. The door of the heart must open. That you're opening the door of the heart and you are accepting the light that will be bestowed within your heart. You are accepting from God the light He will bestow within your heart at the time of Zikr. So more than the Zikr, it's the intention before the Zikr that plays the biggest role for the Zikr. It's not the Zikr itself. Zikr itself only activates within the heart when you make the proper intention. So when we say La ilaha illallah, before we even say La ilaha illallah, that there's no existence but God, or whatever, it has to suit with where there's love attraction towards you. You can think La ilaha illallah means there's no existence but God, or you can say there's no existence at all but the one reality. You can say there's no existence but Allah, there's no existence but Bhagwan, there's no existence but Krishna, there's no existence but Shiva, there's no existence but Bhagwan, or my Guru, or my Master. Whatever resides with your heart, stick to that. Once you have it in your intention, in your mind, then recite the Zikr, then intensify the Zikr, and ask to awaken and activate that Zikr. Ask. Remember, you are not doing anything yourself. You have no power yourself. This body has no power. But the ultimate has the complete power. The universal power has the ultimate power to bestow upon you what you ask. That door, that channel is not broken. That's always there. So this is what we call prayer. This is what we call dua. This is what we call, just asking. So, in this moment now, please bring yourself into your center, your inner space of peace, where you feel the most peaceful. Bring yourself to that place in your heart where you feel the most peaceful. Remember, this meditation gathering is not a kindergarten gathering. This is like right before you get your PhD. So you guys already been through your meditations. You've done your meditations through different classes. You already know how to meditate. Okay, I cannot teach you meditation. What I can do is, we can help you get to the next levels. But return to your center, return to your inner space, return to your peaceful state where you feel absolute peace in your heart, where your mind is relaxed, where your body is relaxed, where the rest of you is in absolute oneness with yourself. Your mind is not moving around, and you just turn into a receiver, okay? This is the best I can put it. In this moment, turn into a receiver, that you are only sitting and intending to receive. That's it. Close your mind, close all your senses off, and open up your heart and receive. Once the light starts filling in, then we'll start the Zikr. recite after me. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
I encourage everyone to still their mind, keep complete concentration of complete mind, all the strings that are going out to the outer world. Bring complete attention into the heart. All your strings of spiritual strings that are going out of your mind, out into this physical existence, bring all those strings back into the heart. Connect everything back into the heart. And in the heart, receive. Just receive the light. In this session, forget about the complete existence of your own reality. Forget about your own personal life, your individual consciousness. Completely throw away time, throw away space, throw away your environment, throw away your body. Empty yourself from the self. First zikr is La ilaha illallah. There is no existence, only one reality. There's no God but God. There's only God. La meaning we are proclaiming that our ego self does not exist anymore. It's annihilated completely. Our false identity is completely annihilated, and we believe it. We are believing that reality, that we are La. Ilaha illallah. There's only the reality of God. La. I believe I am La. I believe I am no time, I am no space, I am not this body, I am not this environment, I am nothing to what I am attached myself to. La ilaha illallah. Go.
La ilaha illallah. 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 La ilaha illallah.
Say with confidence.
La ilaha illallah. 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 لا إله إلا الله 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 لا إله إلا الله.
Every illallah is descending into the heart. Illallah.
لا إله إلا الله 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 لا إله إلا الله.
With every zikr, focus on complete zikr. Don't create any realities in your mind of what experiences you're feeling, what feelings you're feeling. Remove all that. Your complete concentration is what we're doing zikr on. That's the only point of focus in the zikr. Next zikr is illallahu illallah. There is only God. There is only God. There is only the ultimate reality. 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 There is only one truth. There is only one truth. Illallahu illallah.
Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. Illallahu illallah. إلا الله 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 إلا الله.
In the silence, always receive. Take a deep breath and receive all the energies flowing through you, all the nur, all the light that's around you. Just receive, become a receptor as soon as you finish the zikr, in that instant, that moment. Receive all the nur, all the light of all lights within you, into your entire being. Keeping a center focus in your heart. The next zikr is Allahu, Allah. Same meaning. There's no existence but God's existence. There's no reality but one reality. My body, the time that I live in, the environment that I'm in, the false identity has all been unveiled, and there's only the light. I am that light. This is Allahu, Allah. Reciting from the deep core of your heart, deep center of your heart. You will recite from the deep center of your heart, receiving the light with every zikr, intending to receive. Allahu, Allah.
Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. Allahu, Allah. الله 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 الله.
All his secrets, the ultimate truth within your existence, within you, within your heart, within your mind, within your body, within your soul, within every single one of your blood cells, your entire existence, your hands, your entire body, your physical body, your spiritual body, all of it with the zikr of Allahu. This is the weapon. This is the weapon of the heart. Master Allahu within yourself and intend and ask to receive the sir, receive the secrets within you as you continue and develop in the zikr. Allahu, only God. God is. God is. Allah is. No other reality but Allah. Allah. Who? Allah.
Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah. Who? Allah.
Everybody stand up. We're going to do a Zikr. Okay, it's called, it's from Baba Turk. The Zikr is Allah Hay, meaning we are ever living, God is ever living. Everybody hold hands. Okay, he is on there. Everybody hold hands. So with whenever we put our arms upwards like this, Allah Hay, heads down. Okay, and stand in one position. Make sure you have solid ground. Okay, we are all united. Allah Hay, God is ever living. Allah Hay,
Allah hey, 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 Allah hey.
Receive energy. Breathe, receive. Breathe, receive. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe. Let the light descend into your heart. Remember, everything's going in the heart. Receive head to toe, descending into your spiritual self. Short breaths like I'm doing. Every breath Allah. Every breath out Hu. Mouth closed, mouth closed. Inhale, exhale. Allah Hu. Inhale, exhale. Allah Hu. Allah Hu. Allah Hu. Allah Hu. Allah Hu. Allah Hu. All descending in the heart. Awareness of the breath. Don't go in your mind. Alright, stop your breath. Stop it. Completely stop it. And contain all the energy of the breath in the heart. Complete stop of the breath. Absolutely still. Now absorb the silence around you, within you, it's all the same. Now we're going to just go into listening meditation. We're just going to listen to the inner silence. That's all we're going to do. We did all of the zikr just to calm ourselves into the inner stillness and inner silence. So you may sit down if you wish, or you can stand up as you wish. If your mind pulls you back into thoughts, take a deep breath, breathe out, and go back into stillness. Listen to the inner silence. into absolute stillness. Your mind, your shoulders, your heart, your legs, your knees, everything must be still. When everything is still, that's when the door opens in the heart. And as long as there's activity in the body, the door won't open. Close all the senses off and open the door. Eric, recite.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين صراط إهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Surah Ikhlas 3 times.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. Two more times. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. My beloved, what will enable each of us Please take us all the way, my beloved. Take each one of us all the way, my beloved. Take each one of us all the way, my beloved. Take each one of us all the way. Make us worthy of the supreme goal, my beloved. Complete union with you, my beloved. Merger with you, my beloved. Make us worthy to become completely annihilated as soon as possible. Perfect us. Make us more beautiful beings. Yes. Lead us to the ultimate truth more quickly and the most quickly divinely possible as soon as possible. Make each of us more beautiful, more free. Make us worthy of more of the fruit of the Spirit, peace, more contentment, more fulfillment, more beauty, less pain, less suffering. Let us learn the most and benefit the most from all our trials and tribulations in life. Let us learn our lessons quick. Let us move swiftly towards complete merger with you, my beloved. The Darood Shareef.
Pray for yourself, pray for Rasulullah.
Okay. My beloved, please bless all true masters of this path who are working completely and utterly selflessly for all of humanity at all times. The prophet of prophets, Prophet Muhammad, the messenger of messengers, Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu ala habibihi Muhammadin wa alayhi wa sallam. Blessings to the Prophet, peace be upon him. All masters of the path, lead us, make us worthy to know the truth as you know the truth. Make us worthy to see what you see and to know what you know. Open our hearts to fit the entire universe within them. Yes, Bismillah.
Read the three Darood Shareef. Read the one, Jino.
Okay. Sallallahu ala habibihi Muhammadin wa alayhi wa sallam. Sallallahu ala habibihi Muhammadin wa alayhi wa sallam. Sallallahu ala habibihi Muhammadin wa alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Maulana Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Maulana Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Maulana Muhammad. So from you, I need that last little line. Alright. And, yeah, and Mubarak. You know what I'm talking about.
I think the nafs died. Allah, Samad.
letting people at the healing camp I did on the prayer.
Wow.
Through information fluid in my elbow.
That was pretty good.
I wasn't looking, I was in construction.
Oh.
How heavy is it? It was only like for 2 weeks. Every day I was doing something. I was in a bathroom remodel.
So it's consistent trauma. What's happening?
Which ones?
What happened?
Huh?
Which ones?
No, I was working out, I think. I had an injury a couple of years ago. That's why I hurt this my core muscle. Ever since then, I haven't healed properly. I've gone to physical therapy numerous times.
I've heard
Not
lots
so
of
many.
things.
It's been hurting.
You've heard lots of things.
So you do it for
Ways
this
you're supposed to be, you're supposed to feel like, ways you will feel like when you get to this there, or to this there.
Nice. Do you know the purpose of
And consistently I sort of balance and weigh that
to
against
restore the blood flow?
what, like,
Can I get inflammation?
I feel like with my own.
No, I've been doing something higher than ourselves. That's Satan. Anything outside of that is
I'm geared towards the ultimate, but like things that are heavenly states. I'll explain just without keeping things secret and experiencing it. I was at a retreat and so I was at a retreat and I told you I school metaphysics and I was at the college and it was the first time I was in a car with a few people I just met and we're driving and as we go I just get more and more it starts occurring to me that I'm just feeling bad, out of it, nervous, like all these different negative emotions I don't feel like anymore. Finally we get there and it's really pretty, and we're driving down this lane and there's a gazebo. And the thought I just consciously chose to have was, oh, I'm going to sit by there maybe. And then the thought that just happened after that was canned crap. And so it was shocking, like, where the hell did that come from? Well, anyway, so I'm just pretty, on edge for a while. And then finally, the teacher gets up, she gives this really great lecture, and she tells us to talk about the stream of consciousness. And it's all just crap. Like I'm writing gibberish or just shitting on myself and like asking why. And I feel more and more bad, And then finally when we finished for 30 minutes of this, she asked me when we like to share. Another gentleman shared first than I did. And it just crescendos until it just burst me out in the chaos. And when I made it through that, I kind of had this like feeling of a moment of clarity and like relief and release. And the thought that just occurred is that I just want to experience like a multitude of things. And it seemed so pure and so vibrant in that thought, and I want it. I know I can throw a launch